that's the situation that I see across my desk all the time. The player who is a outstanding college performer who can buy an NCAA $5 million career-ending policy and get it for $25,000 or $30,000. They can take a loan, and certainly if they get drafted and they don't have a career-ending injury, the $30,000 is peanuts in terms of the long haul. On the other hand, if you have that college player who doesn't have a career-ending injury, and believe me, there is ambiguity, there's confusion, there's permanent, total, irrevocable. I mean, gee whiz, how hard is it to find a neurosurgeon or an orthopedic surgeon that can look at an X-ray, a CT, an MRI, and be positive about a potential rehabilitation program or a surgery that says, nope, it's not permanent and he can recover from it. Now you have a spitting contest over a policy that might be worth $5 million. And Gary, Lloyd's is not from the United States. Lloyd's has underwriters in England and in Europe. So in order to get those underwriters to come to America to sit through a jury trial, you're going to do that in federal court. And a federal court's different than state court. You've got 8 jurors, and it needs to be a unanimous verdict of all 8. So if you've got a highly credentialed Harvard medical orthopedist or neurosurgeon with a curriculum vitae that drips in gold with all the treatises and journals and publications, that actually has reviewed all the records and takes a stand, maybe gets paid $5,000 for that opinion, that $5,000 opinion might sway one juror, and you need all 8.
And as a guy who is representing the company, Lloyd's of London in this case, as that attorney, that's all you're after. You ain't after a grand slam. You're only after one. Can you convince one juror, I ain't going to pay this guy?
And you know what? That's the way the trial goes. Federal court is not where you're going to see surprises. It's not where you hide documents. It's not where you're going to cross-examine somebody with something that hasn't been previously disclosed. And you watch the federal judge handles the voir dire or the selection of the jury, and we wind up picking faces. Does somebody look nice? Do they have full lips so that we think they're kind or empathetic? Do they have somebody in the family that's been injured or has been a professional? You may have a plumber on the jury. God bless plumbers. They do hard work, but they don't have a $5 million insurance policy that they paid $40,000 for. That's a full year's salary. And typically, these players aren't coming into federal court in a wheelchair and on a ventilator. They look great. Why? Because they've been conditioned since they were 6 years old. So despite having a neck injury or a back injury or a head injury, they generally look fitter than the rest of us. So it is a very, very difficult jury pool. You have to find jurors who understand insurance is a promise. It's a piece of paper. You and I and all our listeners can't go out and test drive an insurance policy. It's a piece of paper that promises peace of mind and security in exchange for money. And when we pay a premium and we get sick or injured, we want the carrier to do the right thing. We don't want them to delay or create ambiguity or go to Harvard Medical School and find somebody that for $5,000 we can shade an opinion, or have a spitting contest about whether somebody is safe to return to play a professional sport.